Good evening, Blackwood insomniacs. It's your local ghost storyteller here, Ally Clifford. If you're still awake, you're in the right place. Blackwood, I have terrible news.
Don't say that. People might think you're talking about Alex.
Oh, you're right. Blackwood, I have somewhat terrible news. We got our invitations today, and Harper got an invitation from Delta Theta Rho. So she will be leaving us, abandoning us, leaving me alone.
Don't try to guilt trip me. You got an invitation too.
Yeah, but my heart was set on Alpha Omicron, so I'll be going there. But it's fine. I understand. It's just been really fun being your roommate, and Harper has become a real little research assistant for me. We've been trying to get a lot of information on stories that Alex hasn't finished, or things that we're just curious about. After she found information about Blake Scott, that kind of sparked a new energy in her, and I suppose a new hobby. She's been doing a lot of research for us lately, which actually leads into today's story. This is all from Harper's hard work and dedication to bring us the truth, and I'm really excited to read it to you guys. Since you liked the story I did on the last pledge, this one is a follow-up. But let's not get into that just yet. Let's read your comments from last week. There were so many discussions in the comments that maybe I should create a Reddit page for Blackwood Insomniacs where we can all get together and discuss our theories. What do you guys think? Let me know. But one of the conversations was about the letter, "You all knew and did nothing." That is ominous and worrisome, and it makes you wonder, what did the girls know? Did they actually know something? Or is it even scarier than that? What if they knew something and they made sure to shut down the person who was going to talk? Is that how the massacre started? Did it start with a crack in trust, and soon all the girls turned on each other, worried they might get into trouble for something? And what is worse than murder, that they decided to take each other out? Is that the official story, or is that just the story the police went with to stop the rumors? Please go add your own theory in the comments. There's also a whole discussion on the 12th missing girl. Is she maybe the girl the Delta Theta Rho tradition started for, the one who was supposedly found in an open grave and killed by her boyfriend? Who knows? Although all her sisters were murdered, I don't know. That is one of the theories, and a lot of you agree with it. I'm not sure about that one myself. All the local Ravenbrooke viewers who grew up here and heard that story say it's purely a ghost story. They don't think anyone will ever find news articles or information about that house because there's not even one girl's name mentioned in the story, yet everybody knows it. So maybe it really is just a scary story told to keep people away from those abandoned buildings, or to explain why they're abandoned at all. There was another discussion in the comments about Cameron and Peyton, that they disappeared during Pledge Week, that they were both going to join Delta Theta Rho. So that theory about the pledges disappearing, is it a ghost? What if it's not just a ghost story? What if there's someone genuinely trying to stop these pledges from happening? They're not supposed to be doing the open grave tradition anymore, so what are they doing now? Is it just a coincidence that these girls disappeared that week, right after we also covered this story? I mean, this could all be a coincidence. Just playing devil's advocate here. But I don't know. That's kind of unsettling. I guess Miss Harper will let us know what she has to do for Pledge Week when she meets with the girls.
Can you stop with this? I promise, if they do anything that forces me to climb into anything, I will refuse and leave immediately.
Good. Now that that's settled, let's get into this week's story. I suppose I shouldn't call it a story. This one is actually based on the episode we did on the last pledge, The Girl Who Drowned in the Coffin. That story was told as a ghost story, and that's what we believed at the time. But after Blake Scott's story turned out to be true, well, somewhat, she was a real person. So we wondered about this one too. And instead of calling her the drowned girl, let's call her by her real name, Lila Down. If you're listening to this and haven't heard the story of the drowned girl or the last pledge, you can go back and listen to the last pledge, but I'll give a quick summary of what the story is. The sorority house Delta Theta Rho has a tradition. When pledges get accepted into the sorority, before they can become a full member, they need to complete duties and attend events. The last pledge for Delta Theta Rho is lying in a coffin in an open grave. This tradition started after one of the sorority sisters, many years ago, was murdered by her boyfriend and left in an open grave. As a tribute to her, this is how the tradition began. All new members needed to lie in the coffin for a few hours, just to help pass their fallen sister's spirit along, as they put it. On one night, there was a new pledge, eager to join Delta Theta Rho and her future sorority sisters. They walked her to the open grave, let her in, and they closed the casket. They told her they'd be back in a few hours, but she could climb out at any moment if she felt she couldn't continue. If she climbed out, she wouldn't be able to join Delta Theta Rho. The girls went to a nightclub in Ravenbrooke. There was a brick wall separating the graveyard from the town, so they just climbed over it to get there quicker. The girls were dancing and having a great time when one of them noticed a group of people running into the club, completely drenched. She alerted the other girls, and they all ran outside, and in horror they saw it was raining. Not light rain, a complete cloud break. You couldn't even see the street under the water. The sorority sisters ran frantically back to the open grave. With all the rain and flooding, they couldn't find the specific location until one of the girls let out a yelp. Her foot had fallen into a hole. They had a moment of relief knowing they'd found it, but the entire grave was filled with water. One girl instantly jumped in and tried to open the casket, but it was too late. She brought up Lila. Some of the girls started crying. Most of them frantically tried to phone 911. The girl who pulled her out tried to give her CPR and bring her back. The girls on the phone told the paramedics they'd meet them at the wall so they'd know exactly where to go. But it was too late. That is the story of the drowned girl. Now I'm going to tell you the facts, the real names, who Lila was, and a little more about the case and how it unfolded. I also want to raise the question of why this story kind of died. Why it's known as a ghost story instead of an actual case. Lila Down was an 18-year-old who joined Blackwood University in 2010. She was born in September 1992, and her major was journalism. All her friends and family agreed it was the perfect fit for her because she was always someone who was curious, eager to know what was happening in everyone's lives, wanting to know the truth. She was blunt and spoke her mind and wasn't afraid to ask questions that made other people uncomfortable. When she chose to study journalism, everyone thought it was the perfect fit. Delta Theta Rho was the first sorority house she was interested in, the only one she wanted to join. She did everything that was asked of her, and the girls loved her immediately. She got her invitation, and then the night came for her to do her last pledge. Sadly, that was also her last night in this world. There were 7 Delta Theta Rho sisters involved in the last pledge that night. Abigail Monroe, Danielle Brooks, Sophie Caldwell, Rebecca Hayes, Emily Foster, Nicole Bennett, and Rachel Morgan. Abigail Monroe was the sorority president. She resigned immediately after the investigation. She graduated quietly, gave no interviews, and according to everything I could find, left Ravenbrooke and never came back. Danielle Brooks was vice president. She was the one who, during the investigation, told police the tradition was safe because it had worked for decades. She publicly defended the house in the days after Lila died. Years later, on the 15th anniversary, she posted a public apology. She said she no longer felt that way, now that she was older and that the house mother, Miss Miller, had a way of intimidating girls into submission until you thought it was your own thinking.
That is the current house mother's name, too. So she's been there for years.
Sophie Caldwell was the pledge educator responsible for planning rush activities. She blamed herself openly and completely, in a way the others didn't. According to former classmates I found in old Facebook threads, she visited the memorial oak planted for Lila every March for years, every single March, until she eventually moved away. Someone from Ravenbrooke left a comment saying the flowers that appear under that oak near the chapel every year, with no one ever claiming them, they think it's Sophie. Rebecca Hayes was a senior sister. She was, according to police reports, the first person to realize something was wrong when the storm intensified, the one who signaled to the others that they needed to leave the club. She later became an attorney, specializing, of all things, in university liability cases. Emily Foster was the one who jumped into the grave. She went into that flooded pit in the dark, in the rain, and she dove under the water and found the lid and pulled it open and dragged Lila out. She performed CPR until the paramedics arrived. It wasn't enough, but she tried. Emily Foster left Blackwood before the semester was over. She transferred to another university and never graduated from here. I couldn't find much else about her. Some people just go quiet after something like this, and I think we have to let them. Nicole Bennett was the sister whose leg broke through into the flooded grave while they were searching in the dark. She told people she felt something grab her ankle before she pulled free. It gave her a fright, but she had a moment of relief thinking, Lila must still be alive. When they found out she wasn't, Nicole said she still felt haunted by whatever had grabbed her ankle. I wonder if that's how the ghost story narrative started. Rachel Morgan ran through the woods in the rain to meet the ambulance at the old brick wall. She guided the paramedics back through the trees to the grave site. She later became a nurse. She said in one interview, the only one I could find, that she wanted to help save lives because she had felt so helpless that night. The Ravenbrooke Police Department classified the death as accidental drowning secondary to entrapment. The report confirmed no evidence of assault, no evidence Lila was restrained, no alcohol or narcotics detected in her system. She went into that grave willingly because she wanted to belong somewhere. The Weather Service confirmed that Ravenbrooke received 92 millimeters of rainfall in less than 90 minutes that night. The storm was described as a highly localized flash flood event. Several roads around campus were temporarily closed. The district attorney's office declined to file criminal charges. The statement read that there was insufficient evidence that sorority members intended to cause harm. Insufficient evidence of intent. That was the end of it. The university suspended Delta Theta Rho, pending an internal review. The last pledge tradition was officially banned. The sorority was eventually reinstated. That said, there are many rumors saying the tradition continued. They've just been more secretive about it. I couldn't find much about Lila's family. It seems that after her tragic death, her parents divorced. There is one comment on her memorial page, posted in the days right after she died, that I want to read to you. I hope your little brother knows how much you loved him. So she also left a younger sibling behind. What do you guys think? Was this just an unfortunate accident, or was the tradition always an accident waiting to happen? I'm gonna leave the theorizing for the comments, but what I will add is this: Delta Theta Rho was officially ordered to end the last pledge tradition in 2011. Cameron Peterson and Payton Lewis disappeared during Delta Theta Rho Pledge Week in the spring of last year. What are the chances they both just ran away, like the police and the school want us to believe? Or did Delta Theta Rho have 2 new casualties and is trying to cover it up? That's enough from me, Blackwood Insomniacs. I hope you're all in dreamland by now. This is Ally. Good night, Alex.